Hi friends, welcome back. So today's video is going to be, oh my gosh, this is like, oh wow. It says the most expensive house in the world.
Wow.
Ooh, we are going to be like, oh, our house
And
is
we
so
want to know
small.
who owns it.
Yeah, and we'll compare it with our house. So, okay, friends, before we go ahead and watch this video, if you're new, hit the subscribe button, click the bell icon to get notification of all the new videos as soon as we upload them. And after watching this video, if you like it, click the like button and share it with your friends and family. So I was rushing on this because I really want to go ahead and find out what this most expensive house is and where it is. So okay friends, let's go ahead and watch this video. This looks like US.
The most expensive home on the planet. In the inner city of Mumbai, India, not far from the poverty-stricken slums,
This is
on the renowned
who's that
Altamont
richest
Road,
person there?
stands
Ambani. Yeah, this is
the
his
most
house.
expensive home
Yeah,
ever
that's the
created.
one.
This home ascends 27 stories, stretching 568 feet high, granting the massive structure with prime views of the Arabian Sea. In technical terms, the home is the second most expensive residential property in the world, considering Buckingham Palace is worth around 5 billion US dollars.
After that,
However, Buckingham Palace is considered a crown property, whereas Antilia is a private residence. And the most expensive private residential property at that, with some pricing estimates as high as $2 billion.
that's
Even
five and this is
still,
two.
any list in which a residence is preceded by Buckingham Palace pretty much guarantees that place is going to be over-the-top luxurious and is likely a house I'd love to move into.
Yeah,
In
me
this
too.
video, I'll take you on a virtual, informative tour of this ostentatious
Virtual!
estate, while engaging all of two of your
I thought he was
senses.
going to take us
In this
inside.
massive home, there are several ceilings that are double or triple heighted, so the 27-floored skyscraper looks more like a 50 or 60-floor building. Can you imagine only being as tall as an ordinary 27-floor building? Laughable. On some of the lower floors, there is a multi-level car lot that can hold 168 vehicles,
Wow.
including Mukesh's precious RS5 Crawl Maybach, a car for very important people. Somewhere in that car lot is also a car service station. But if cars
wow.
are your style, don't
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
The
The one I said I wanted to
antennas placed on the roof. Few things say billionaire like more than one helipad on the roof. Both the private car lot and helipads are violations of residential bylaws in Mumbai, but from what we can tell, no one has forced the billionaire's hand to make any changes. Above the car lot, you'll find an extravagant lobby composed of 9 elevators. Further up is a 2-story recreation center with a lap pool, a gym, a juice bar, a dance studio, and a yoga studio. Floors like these are how Jeff Bezos transformed his I sell books body to his I sell what I want physique. As you continue to ascend, you will eventually run into a spa and a ballroom. The ballroom is adorned with multiple crystal chandeliers that cover 80% of the ceiling, leaving a shameful 20% exposed and unadorned. To capitalize on the entertainment focus areas of the home, there's a movie theater that sits 50 viewers. There are multiple balconies and terraces with luscious gardens hanging over the sleek facade along the home. The vegetation attached to the sides of the building are meant to absorb sunlight in order to keep the interior as cool as possible. Hopefully that touch can put a dent in what must be a monstrous electricity bill. As if all this luxury wasn't enough of an escape from the hot, busy streets of Mumbai, the home comes fitted with an ice room equipped with a snow generator, meant to mimic a winter wonderland, a creative addition rivaled only by the likes of Willy Wonka. The immaculate structure was designed by architects Perkins and Will out of Chicago, and the interior design was overseen by an Australian company called Lighton Holdings. While the 400,000 square foot building is home to just 6, it's also meant to make room for a staff of 600 cooks, cleaners, and security personnel.
Wow.
So that makes the size of the mansion less excessive, right? I double-checked that stat, by the way, and I can confirm 100 staff per family member. The building is named after a legendary island, also called the Isle of the Seven Cities. The tale of this island originates from an old Liberian legend in which bishops fleeing from the Muslim conquest of Hispania escaped to an island and created 7 settlements there. There's not much else on that fun fact, and no one seems to know why the owners of the home took to that fabled island. But that's the thing with being a billionaire. No one questions your decisions. Considering the unique shape of the skyscraper and the fact that its construction cost not 6, not 7, not 8, but 10 figures, it'd be a fair assumption to presume the design of the home is symbolic, or at least, on purpose. And that assumption would be correct. This incredible structure was meticulously crafted with Hindi influence and generously laced with religious symbolism. Within the 27 stories, there are 6 sections of the home that are meant to reflect earth, water, fire, air, sound, and light. These elements were placed from bottom to top as to mimic not Nickelodeon's Avatar, The Last Airbender, but the ascension to enlightenment. Throughout the mansion there are 2 reoccurring motifs: the sun and the lotus. These symbols are meant to represent rebirth. The materials used to stand for these themes include marble, crystal, and none other than mother of pearl. There is a temple in the home in which the family of 6 goes to pray regularly.
Wow.
There are many statues of Hindu deities throughout the home, including the Hindu god Ganesh, revered as the remover of obstacles, and Shiva, the Hindu deity who destroys to make way for new creation. Along with religious themes and the motifs of lotus and sun, the house is said to have been inspired by the Atlantic Ocean. The owner of the $2 billion home is Mukesh Ambani, a petroleum titan, chairman of Reliance Industries and, surprise, surprise, the richest man in India. Mukesh is responsible for 1/5 of India's exports, which is absolutely outrageous considering India makes up for 1/3 of the Earth's population. Mukesh's father created a business that turned into the world's biggest producer of polyester fibers and yarns. Mukesh multiplied his inheritance many times over to become one of the richest men in all of Asia. For years, Mukesh was a member of the top 10 richest people in the world. And during one surge in India's stock market in 2007, he was believed to be the richest man on the planet. But as of recently, he sits comfortably at the 20th spot. Mukesh is worth $40.1 billion and is 61 years old. Did someone ask for a list of the richest people on the planet? Okay, here it is. Number 1, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Number 2, Bill Gates, Microsoft. Number 3, Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway. Number 4, Bernard Arnault, Louis Vuitton. Number 5, Amancio Ortega, Zara. Number 6, Carlos Slim Helou and family. Number 7, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. Number 8, Larry Ellison, Oracle. Number 9, Larry Page, Alphabet, co-founder of Google. Number 10, Charles Koch, Koch Industries. Number 11, David Koch, you guessed it, Koch Industries. Number 12, Sergey Brin, Google. Number 13, Michael Bloomberg, Bloomberg. Number 14, Ma Huateng, Tencent Holdings. Number 15, Jim Walton, Walmart. Number 16, Rob Walton, Walmart. Number 17, Alice Walton, Walmart.
Oh my,
Number 18, Steve Ballmer, Microsoft. Number 19, François Bettencourt Myers and family, L'Oreal.
Oh.
Number 20, and our guy, Mukesh Ambani. We just love lists here at Mr. Luxury. As you might have noticed from the list, Mukesh is one of only 2 individuals from Asia to earn a spot on the list. Mumbai is the commercial capital of India and is also called the city that never sleeps because I guess they didn't know that slogan was already taken. This city is also home to the entertainment industry in India, so it's commonly known as Bollywood, yet another thing they ripped from the United States. While the city is home to the world's most expensive house, it's unfortunately also home to the world's largest slum. The popular film Slumdog Millionaire was set in Mumbai. The public reception of the house's creation has been harsh at best. I believe offending neighbors comes standard when you're creating a home worth over $1 billion, but there is certainly warrant for any offense taken in this particular case, I must admit. While the house was built on the richest stripe of land in the city, it's hard to not notice the contrast in a city like Mumbai, with such depths of poverty just blocks away. Gyan Prakash told the New York Times in 2010 that the home is in a way reflective of how the rich are turning their faces away from the city. In Mumbai, 40% of children under the age of 5 are underweight. The gap between the rich and the poor is as stark and vast here as any other place in the world. Still, there are some that bring up the charitable acts of the Ambani family, which include the creation of a hospital, when discussing the moral responsibilities of the family, not to mention numbers of the philanthropic ventures, specifically by Nita Ambani, Mukesh's wife. Which is great and all, but no one is going to ignore the gargantuan mansion towering over the city, or any of Mukesh's indulgences other than the mansion. Years before the creation of Antilia, Mukesh bought his wife an Airbus for her birthday for $60 million. He had the passenger jumbo jet refitted with a living room, a bedroom, satellite TV, a sky bar, and a spa. Unlike most families worth billions, the Ambani family owns just the one home as opposed to the expected several around the globe. Initially, the family shared a house with Mukesh's mother and brothers. But after Mukesh's father passed away of a stroke, he decided to break the bank on the 400,000 square foot home. The children of Mukesh and Nita all studied at universities in the States. Isha, the eldest daughter, recently graduated from Yale. Her twin brother, Akash, and younger brother, Anant, both graduated from Brown University. Not that I'm in any position to judge Mukesh as a father, but it's nice to see he raised 3 Ivy Leaguers. That's pretty much all I've got on Antilia and the Ambani family.
Wow, friends. I mean, looking at the rich, you feel like, wow, they're so rich. That's exactly what the video wanted to show. That, these people are beyond the definition of richness. And the house, I mean, it's huge, as we could all see. I mean, what his house is would not be, I mean, even one floor of his house would not be equal to the whole of our house, I'm guessing. So, I mean, they are living a life of luxury. Wow. They have their own spa, they have their own gym, and it's not just a gym, it's a whole floor which is a gym. Then a whole floor probably that's a spa. And then they have a whole floor probably that's a temple that they've dedicated to. So they are living, and they said there were only 6 people, and I'm guessing now their daughter is already married, and one of the son has got married. Okay, so one went and the other came, so there are still 6, I'm guessing. So only 6 people in such a huge house, and the rest of the house is being filled by workers. So they've got all these workers that are working for them, and they did say there are like 600 cooks in there. I don't know what they're cooking for just 6 people, 600 cooks. That's beyond my imagination and understanding. And then they also said for every member, they have like 100 people who are working for them. So I guess they have like 24 hours, like they were showing their daughter, I think her name is Isha Ambani, I could be wrong. She was sitting and having a haircut. So I think instead of going to a parlor, she has her own parlor at home with these beauticians being there at her beck and call. That's what I'm guessing. But my God, what a life. But I think too much of this luxury is also not good. I mean, I don't think they would be like normal then with so much of luxury that is available. And do you remember they also showed a floor, not just a floor, it was like a huge garage. And they said where Ambani keeps all his cars, and looks like he's got quite a lot of number of cars, and probably that's his passion, buying cars and collecting them. So, oh my gosh, and as they said in the end, this shows a huge disparity between the rich people and the poor people. And they did show that you have this big building, his house, and then just next to this you are seeing all the slum area where their kids, they don't even have a proper room or a house to live in. So that's a sad situation. But I mean, his house and their way of living is just Amazing, amazing. We can't even think of that.
Right. So I mean, I think the video was more about the house, and it was very nice to see the architecture of the house and how they have used Hinduism creating that house,
Yeah.
and that is okay, and that's why I mean there's a contrast of people. If you look at Warren Buffett, who was in this list probably third. Now this list is also outdated because
It's over, yeah.
um, the Bill Gates has retaken the number one spot.
Oh,
And of course there are many reasons. I mean, Bill Gates is one of the persons who donates a lot. So originally he should be the richest person if he did not donate. Because he donated, he became number two, and then Jeff Bezos became number one. Then Jeff Bezos had a divorce, so that money went away, and then he became number two. So these things are not important, but what I'm saying is I wanted to look at Warren Buffett. So Warren Buffett, he is a very humble guy, although he's so rich, and he lived in his old home for many years, and now he moved to a different home, but very humble. At one point he was using his old Cadillac, some very old Cadillac, and he said it just works fine, I don't know why I should change. And then finally he was forced to change it. And when he says that when I'm going to go, I'm not going to give a single dime to my people. They already have enough. I'm going to donate my money.
wow.
And it is similar to what Bill Gates has also said. Bill Gates also said the same thing, that my children already have enough, but I'm going to
Wow.
donate my money. So Bill Gates is going to donate his money. Warren Buffett is going to donate money.
They are great people,
And
then.
even Mark Zuckerberg of Facebook, he also mentions the same thing, that I have enough for my children. I leave enough, but rest I'm going to donate. So the philosophy of a person changes from time to time. And I would say that one point I had written an article, in the sense I submitted a project on Warren Buffett. I was very impressed with his humble nature, and he was like I mean, at one point he used to deliver newspapers from home to home, and he grew from there. And as he said the same thing, that my aim was not to make money, but I just loved math and mathematics and numbers, so I started doing in the stock market and I made it. But he does not consume that money. He's like, that's okay, that's money's fine, but I'm happy, I have a good life. And I'm so there are some great people who, in spite of being so rich, are humble because of the nature. They are like they all Warren Buffett at one point said, I can't take the money with me, and there's no use. These are material things. I wanted to achieve something in life. I'm very happy that God gave me the ability to do that, and I'm very thankful for that. And he donates a lot, and many times he writes an annual letter for Berkshire Hathaway, and everybody wants to read the letter very nicely. He writes things, he admits his mistakes. Sometimes the stock goes down, he says, that's okay, but I made the mistake. So he's a very nice guy, and of course nice in the sense that he has to run his business too, but humble in a way. So you can look at a person, how they live their life, to understand their character. And these are some of the people, essentially, when you look at the philanthropy, the amount of donations made by Bill Gates, and the humble style of Warren Buffett. So these are great people. So but this video was more about the home itself, and it was very nice to see such a home which has so many things. But again, it depends on the person. If they wanted to make a best home in the world, sure, go ahead. And so great video.
Yes, friends. So it's like a dream house for any person. We can dream.
Not really for any person. I don't dream for or living in such a house. So it depends upon person to person. But if you are someone who is into material things, yeah, this will be a great home for you.
Yeah, it was an eye opener to see how the rich people actually live their lives. But I was very proud to hear that he's number 20, and there are only 2 Asians in this list. So that makes us proud that there's someone representing from India. So nice video to watch and look at such a beautiful house. So friends, we'll take your leave and we'll come back again in another video very soon. Till then, take care and bye-bye.
Oh, and if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and hit the bell icon so it notifies you when I put in my new video for you to enjoy. Bye!